Gillie the Kid calls rappers that are older that's still trying to make it losers. What up, world? Your boy Charles Brown back again talking facts. Hit the like button, hit that subscribe, hit the notification bell. I love this topic, baby. I love this topic. I want to read this and we're going to have a discussion. On a recent episode of $1 Million Worth of Game, Gillie and Wallow sat down with O3 Greedo, who spoke about someone wanting to start rapping at 42. He listened to that. He wanted to start rapping at 42. This led to Gillie speaking about why he thinks there's an age limit in the rap game. He stated, effing right, there's an age limit to rap. If you ain't popping by a certain age, let that S go. Gillie even holds himself to this standard. As he stated, mother effers be like all the time. Yo, Gil, your platform crazy. This is the perfect time to drop something now. Shut the F up. F is you talking about, do I look like an N-word that's holding on to yesterday? Or do I look like an N-word that's elevating and escalating? And glowing and growing. What the F is wrong with you? Gillie continued, let me drop another debut album at 46. Get the F out of here. This is not me. This is not for N-word. This is for N-words that can only rap. F all that. I got bigger and better S that I'm going to climb and try to climb and get to. I'm not no N-word that's trying to live no Throwback Thursday, man. If you ain't got no traction at all by a certain age and you still doing this S, you are a loser. You hear that, gang, gang, gang? You are a loser, according to Gillie the Kid. So let me just say this. I want to say this right now. And it's so much to discuss in this situation that I don't even know where to begin. But what I do want to begin at, and I guess I'm going to have to just be blunt. I'm just going to have to be blunt. Who was checking for Gillie's rapping anyway? I'm just being 100. I don't want to disrespect the man, but he's being mad disrespect for the people because this is what the problem is, right? This is what the problem is, $1 million worth of game. So the show is, the premise is to be giving people a platform, right, to elevate. And I'm assuming, because it's mostly older gentlemen on here with different levels of careers and things of that nature. Most of the people they bring on there are elder gentlemen who were rapping in the past and still rap, right? I believe they just had Mace on there, and Mace just dropped with Cameron and Jadakiss, if I'm not mistaken. They make music all the time, right? Mace still rapping. I assume he's in his 40s. Cameron still rapping. I assume he's in his 40s. So I want to break down everything he said because it's a slap in the face. This is what I'm talking about, where people get confused with what hip-hop real purpose is and what people think it's about, right? So he said, Greedo said someone wanted to start at rapping at 42. I myself think that's ridiculous. If you're just starting to rap at 42, you are a loser because you should have been rapping. Rapping ain't something you get into at 42. At that point, you're just trying to jump on something for a wave or something. I understand that. But if I've been rapping since 11 and 12 and I'm happen to be 42 and I still want to spit, that's the furthest thing from a loser. That's a dude living his truth at the end of the day. And the simple fact that he says that you're still trying to pop. What's popping? Right? This is why you get 40-year-old men trying to chase 14-year-olds for their sound. Right? Because they want to be popping. And the fact that he says he don't want to rap no more because he's saying that he's holding on to yesterday or whatever. No, you never was a rapper. Because the simple fact, rap is an art form. This is an art form. We use this to express ourselves. You don't cut it on and cut it off because your age. So the simple fact that he's saying that means he was only in it for the money in the first place. That's why he's doing this podcast, right? If you switch up your rapping and become a podcaster, which this has been a while, Gillie ain't been rapping for a good 10 years, so this ain't new that he done gave up rapping for whatever else he's doing, right? So he's calling people losers for still using their gift, right? Just because he ain't been good at it in a while, and just because nobody's checking for him, is somehow something's wrong with it. That's to me is the loser. When you really at one point considered yourself a good rapper, but people didn't flock to you and put you on popping, like you say, so you gave up rapping, and now you're calling other people losers. I just watched Jay-Z kill that verse with DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, and Lil Wayne. And Lil Wayne might be the youngest one on there. Now, he ain't 40, but he up there, right? Jay-Z, I believe, is 50. Had the biggest verse of the year, if I'm not, am I bugging, right? Everybody was talking about that verse and J. Cole's verse on Benny. It wasn't many other verses people was talking about. So that old man's still giving it to you, right? But according to him, it's a young man's game. And see, the simple fact of the matter is a dude like this that turned a podcast and never was a rapper, never had any fame anyway, right? Let's be honest. How much fame did Gillie really have for his rapping? The only thing I remember, Gillie was always bitching that he was writing for Lil Wayne and he wasn't getting the credit for it. I don't remember not one Gillie song. I'm just going to be a buck with you. Don't think I ever heard one. So it's easy for him to say, I ain't dropping no debut album because it was never going to work anyway. So it's easy to call dudes losers and say, oh, you 40-something and you still rapping, you a loser. Because in his 20s, he couldn't get it. And in his 30s, he couldn't get it. So he quit on it and think everybody else supposed to quit on it too. But he was chasing the wrong thing. He was chasing money and fame with it. That's not what hip-hop's about. And that's why he's looking at it as you a loser if you still rapping, because he's chasing money and fame. It's mad people that can elevate, that don't need to rap, but they do it because they love the art form. I think all the Wu was in their 40s, and all of them still rapping, right? Only one ain't rapping is ODB because he gone. I just heard Method Man kill a couple tracks, right? But according to Gillie, it's a young man's game, and if you rapping, da-da-da. And don't use the crutch. We're not gonna let you use the crutch and say, oh, if you ain't popping yet. No, you're not doing that. That's a crutch. You trying to make it a little, oh, let me save face with the people that I need to get on this podcast. No, you think dudes, you said it's a young man's game, so stand on it. You can't say both, bro. You can't say it's a young man's game, but if you already been in it, then you good. No, say it. You said it's a young man's game. Leave it at that. So that means all these rappers that you bringing on, you looking at them crazy because you making a little bag on this $1 million worth of game. So now all the rapping is whack if you're not 12 years old and 15 and 22, right? Let's keep it a buck. I'm going by what you said. So all these rappers you bringing on, you looking at them like sideways. Let's be honest, right? So again, if you're going to say it's a young man's game, then that go for everybody. That go for everybody, right? The simple fact of the matter is, if you watch the video, he's going in getting really, well, he gets irritated and everything. I laugh at Gillie, right? But the simple fact of the matter is, Gillie chasing a bag. Why else would you do an interview with James Prince and James Prince Jr., right? The interview was awful, right? It was an awful interview. They didn't ask Holly no questions, and they let this guy go on and control the interview. That shows me they only did the interview for the money. They wasn't trying to get to the bottom of nothing. So a guy that's trying to do things for money is going to say things for money, right? So at the end of the day, if I'm looking at it like, okay, everybody that's rapping is whack to me. They losers, right? They would be losers if everything I do is for the dollar, right? I'm gonna be honest with you. I know most of the older artists that are still rapping are still spitting. They saying something. If this thing was left to all the young people, I don't know what it would sound like. But we wouldn't have no bars. You got R.J. Payne, right? You got Benny. You got Conway. You got Freddie, who's in his 40s. You got Kendrick, about to be 40, if I'm not mistaken, right? You got Future. All these guys are up there, right? So according to him, if I'm still rapping after a certain age, I'm just supposed to put the mic down and give it to these youngers who don't know, who haven't learned nothing yet, and they whole thing is, I'm just trying to make some money. So we're supposed to hand this thing over to people that just rapping about money and Percocets and this and that, right? And I know I say Future, I get it. But end of the day, I feel like Gillie entire purpose, because when the podcasting go away, right? If the podcasting was to fade away right now, he will find another hustle that's going to be about money, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with that. But when you start dissing people for what they feel like they need to do, because the simple fact of the matter is, someone who really respects this art form would have never said that. Right? You got KRS-One, Rakim, all of the greats. And we're not going to, like I said, ain't no crutch where, oh, if you've been rapping, then you good. Nah, it ain't about you been rapping. That's not what we doing. Say it, stand on it. So that means everybody need to stop. Everybody that ain't 22, 24 need to give it up and give it to the game. To who? Name them. Who we need to drop these mics for? Please tell me who are these kids that's so nice that's going to carry this torch like it's supposed to be. You'd be hard-pressed to find 10 of them that you could say going to carry the torch. Good luck. Until then, no elder statesman is dropping it, especially for a dude that never did it his own self. Especially a dude whose whole fame is ghostwriting. We're not giving that, right? We're not allowing you. You don't own this culture. And I think that, yeah, I know that some of his stuff is tongue-in-cheek, but I really think he meant that. He felt that. And I feel what I'm saying. I don't believe that Gillie was ever a product of this hip-hop thing enough to say who can be in it, who not, who old, who not, who don't. No one really listens to Gillie for his opinion about anything with this hip-hop. We listen to him talk about other people. And we listen to him interview other people. And we laugh when he do his dances and stuff like that. But outside of that, we don't go to Gillie for hip-hop advice. Because the simple advice, this little thing right here proves that he don't know what he's talking about when it comes to rap. And it's going to be a buck with you. So at the end of the day, all of the guys my age that's still spitting, do your thing. We know that come from the heart. We know them lyrics is not for money at this point. They never really were. When I was in my 20s, I was never spitting for money. I don't spit for money right now. This stuff for the heart. I do what I want. I don't do nothing because I'm trying to make a buck, a fast buck, and make little kids dance. None of my stuff is adult. Everything I do is for adults, grown people. I don't do nothing for kids. So if it take me to do some songs for kids to be popping, I guess I ain't gonna never be popping. And if I got anybody that's around me doing songs for kids, I guess they ain't gonna be popping either, because the simple fact of the matter is, if you're doing hip-hop at a certain age, it's because you love it. Point blank. It's because you love it. So according to him, if you don't drop the mic by a certain age, you're a loser. Well, at the end of the day, I think that a dude of my age trying to tell me I'm a loser because I still want to express my hip-hop, I feel like that's the loser to me. I'm just going to be buck with you. So end of the day, you let me know what you think in the comments. This is an age-old conversation. He ain't the first person to say it, and he ain't gonna be the last. But I'm gonna always stand up for people that's still doing the art form the way it's supposed to be done. We ain't doing it to be popping. Never have been, never will. Let me know what you think. I'm gonna catch you on that flip side. CLBMG. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe, get in the comments, and I want to hear what you really think. All right? Peace.
CLB.